In this video, I'm going to share with you the exact monk mode phone setup that I personally use to take back control over my life rather than my phone controlling it. Now, you'll go from being distracted on this crazy phone right here to being able to control your phone and actually getting benefits from your phone rather than it deteriorating your life. Now, I call it a monk mode phone setup because it eliminates all these distractions that your phone will give you. If you stick with me in this video, then you will understand a few actionable steps that you can take literally right now to drastically improve your quality of life and having your phone not distracting you all the time. Now, why did I turn my phone onto monk mode, as I say? I did it because we could generally say that phones are bad for us, right? The general population, phones are probably really bad for them, and the way they use them just deteriorates their attention span, their focus, their ability to do anything, really. Now, that is a statement that we can make about the general population. But if you actually do the things that I've done to my phone, then instead of your phone ruining your life, then it can actually enhance it. And you can use your phone productively. So, like me personally, I actually use my phone for so much productive stuff, and I use it all the time. But it's really enhancing my life. You'll also be able to just use your phone with intention. So instead of your phone just grabbing your attention and then you just going ahead immediately to look at that notification, you'll be able to use your phone and choose when you want to use it. You won't have that pressure to immediately go ahead and grab your phone. Rather, you'll grab your phone when you want to. So without further ado, I want to break down that exact setup that I use. The first thing that I do, and is something that I believe that everybody should have on their phone, is grayscale. Now, you probably saw that in the thumbnail, phone turning gray. Maybe you caught on to that, maybe you didn't. But when you have grayscale on your phone, it gives you so much less dopamine from just opening the apps and scrolling on social media. To a point where you might actually feel like you don't even want to scroll just because it's boring. Now, you could always just turn it back off and then start scrolling and getting all that dopamine again. But assuming that you actually do want to improve your life and you actually do have a bit of self-control where you're not going to just turn it back off and start scrolling, then turning grayscale on will actually make scrolling a lot more boring, and really anything that you were doing for fun on your phone is going to seem more boring now. And that is so effective. When there's something that's bad for you that just doesn't seem as fun anymore, well, obviously you're less likely to do it. And that is our goal with this. We want you to not be scrolling so much. Now for me, I don't ever scroll anyway. But having grayscale on just makes the amount of dopamine that I get from opening my phone, maybe I'm going to text somebody or something, then it makes it a lot less. And it just, we want less dopamine from our phone because the dopamine that we get from our phone is generally instant gratification. Now, you might be thinking, okay, these are some new words for me. I just want to quickly explain what instant gratification is. Instant gratification is when you do something that feels good in the moment, so then you get a spike of dopamine, but then afterwards it dips down and you feel worse later. That is the opposite of delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is when you take a little dip right now, so then later you feel good. As an example, going to the gym. So overall, the whole point in grayscale is to make your phone less addicting and making you feel less good when you do use your phone. Now that brings us on to number 2. And number 2 is do not disturb, always on. No, not just on at nighttime, not on when you sleep. Literally 24/7. Do not disturb, always on, so you will never hear your phone buzz again. Okay, now that might take you a bit to comprehend, but for me, I used to just have it on at nighttime until a few months ago when I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just turn it on all day, okay? All day, every day. So I have my do not disturb on all day, every day, so I will never see a notification just bzzz on my phone again. And there's a real benefit in doing this. We are used to our phone buzzing all day, giving us notifications, and then that just drags us right out of focus. We could be doing something important, and then bzzz, notification. Do you know how long it's going to take for you to get back into that flow state of doing the task after you just get a notification on your phone? It's going to take a little while, a lot longer than you think. Now the next part of the do not disturb is not just because you're not going to get notifications anymore, and in the moment it's really bad and you get that notification, but throughout the day, you're always going to be on your feet ready for a notification to come. Even if you don't think you are, then subconsciously you're always going to be waiting for a notification on your phone. Now, I made a whole separate video on this, but there's this thing called a phantom notification where you will genuinely believe that you got a notification and you will think you heard one, even though you didn't. And that's just because we are so addicted to our phones and so addicted to these notifications that we're going to hear them even when they're not there. So just turning it off will let you ease your mind and know you're just not going to get that notification, and you can stay intact and focus on what you were doing. It really allows you to choose when you go on your phone, rather than your phone making you go on it after notification. Now, the next point that I'm about to tell you, honestly, is probably the one with the most friction. Because as of right now in the video, you're probably thinking, you know what? I know that's probably good for me and I might actually do it. And like a good portion of you is really thinking that you might do it. But this one is the one where you're probably genuinely gonna back out on. You're gonna be like, okay, you know what? I might do the first two. I don't know about this one. But this one is kind of similar to Do Not Disturb, but it's a little bit different. Now, this is turning your notifications off. That means that when you get a notification in your little bar up there, it's not even going to show up. You would have to actively open the app to see the notification. Now, this benefits you just because whenever you go on your phone, maybe you're about to do something productive on your phone, but then in your little notification bar you see, like, I don't know, Stacy texted you. And then you're going to go ahead and open her text. And just you seeing a notification, maybe it is the girl you're talking to, you're going to think about that a lot more than you actually want to. And whatever task you were doing is going to be affected by just that being in your brain. What I recommend is turning off their social media notifications. Like Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, all these notifications, like mostly the social media ones. Those are the worst ones because that's what's going to be constantly buzzing your phone all day. Now, there is one more bonus thing in this Monk Mode phone setup. And this is blue light. You want to be able to have your blue light filter all the way up. Now, I don't know what it is for me, but whenever I try to turn my blue light, here, I actually want to show you this. So I go over to my eye comfort shield, and then I click on custom. But I go here, can you kind of see that? I turn it on, the moment I let go of my finger, it turns back off. I low-key don't know what's happening there, I want it on, so what I do is I turn it on the adaptive one right here. So it's a little bit on, but not as much as I want to. I don't know why my phone's bugging out like that, but it is something that you really should be turning on. And if your phone can turn it on, then make sure to keep that on at nighttime. Throughout the day, it's not too bad, but at nighttime is when it's really bad. Now, it just disrupts your sleep so much. So for me personally, since my one's just not turning on like that, I just make sure not to go on my phone a decent amount of time before I go to bed. Because I'm not trying to get it to fuck my sleep schedule, bro, you know? Now that I have this Monk Mode phone set up on my phone, it just makes it so much easier for me to use my phone productively and not just get swarmed in by these social media notifications. And I feel like I'm actually personally in control of my phone, rather than what most people have where their phone is in control of them. Anyways, if you do feel that your phone has been controlling you, then just take one of these actionable steps. You don't even have to do all 3 or 4 right now, but go ahead and pick one, okay? Maybe it's grayscale for you, or maybe it's Do Not Disturb. Just pick one of these, put it on your phone, and see how much better you feel. So, yeah, anyways, I hope you got good value out of this video, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're a young guy like me, and you want to rewire your brain to not be so distracted in this modern world. Anyways, thank you for watching, bro.